Hello everyone, I am here out in my pasture. I was just doing my morning chores, but I am here to make a video that I don't particularly wish to right now, but I think it could be helpful for some. You have a lot of burrs in your hair. So I'm going to try to do that anyways. If you're seeing this, obviously I did do it. I'm going to continue my little, I guess, like mini-series about the different cognitive alerts that Higgins, who is just, there he is, just out of the camera, the different medical alerts that he does for me. And today I'm going to be talking about what I call his cognitive alert. And the weird noises you hear in the background is behind the camera is where my butt goats are, and the chickens and the ducks and everything, and they make a lot of noise. So I'm just down here feeding them, and the butt goats are sharing a fence line here with the girls, you can see behind me. So they're making a lot of noise, a lot of strange sounds. But yeah, I'll try to get into it right now. Try to not make it too long and drawn out. Hopefully my phone does not cut me off. It usually does. So I'll say now, before it cuts me off, which I try to say at the end, but I'll say it now because a lot of times I don't have an end. If you find this video helpful, you can give it a like so that I know if it's helpful or not. I'm trying to put out content that is helpful to people. Oh boy, we're gonna have a duck taking a bath. Are you gonna splatter the camera? What are you doing, Pop? You're gonna splatter the camera there? Let's see. Just standing on the board drinking at the moment. We'll see if she gets obnoxious. But yeah, so I'm gonna just talk a little bit about the cognitive alerts, mainly because I think people might not know that a dog can help with some of this, and maybe you're in a situation where a service dog might fit for you. They don't fit for everyone, but they might fit for you, and if you're struggling with anything similar to this, that way you can know that it's possible for dogs to help with that. So that's the point of this video. Hi, Higgins. So the cognitive alerts have, for Higgins's, for me anyways, it's going to be a very, just a personal basis. It's going to be different for everyone, of course, but what I call his cognitive alerts are really anything that is my brain just not working all the way correctly. Stuff that I commonly notice a lot is if my brain will kind of shut down, or if I get where I can't talk or can't find words, can't build sentences. He does the same alert for if I have like, I guess what you would call like OCD symptoms kind of flare, high anxiety spikes, that kind of stuff. And this alert, he was taught, sorry if I'm squinting and gonna wave my hands around, there's a lot of bugs this morning. But he was taught this by myself training him, and also my previous service dog, Shasta, who's now retired, and she's up the hill at the house. She does not come down to the pasture anymore. She chooses not to herself. Too much of a hill for her, I suppose. But she helped me teach him this particular alert, and then I trained his alert behavior to a Bringsel, which is a strap. Here, Higgins, come here. Which is a strap that is on his collar. I have other videos about it. It's just a short tab on his collar that he grabs in his mouth to indicate an alert, and then he will, once I've trained him to hold it in his mouth until I take it from him, That way he doesn't hold it in his mouth and then drop it when I don't notice. I ran into trouble with that. So I further trained him to just hold it until I actually touch it to release it. And then he'll do he'll touch me with his nose different places depending on what the alert. For this particular alert, he'll touch me on my forehead with his nose after I take the Bringzel, and that's his cognitive alert. Yeah, you go boy. You're full of burrs though. Okay, you can go lay down. So, the interesting thing with this is I can feel completely fine and seemingly be doing good or be doing fine when his alerts come in, and they can be around 20 minutes before I'm going to have an issue with my brain. So that's really helpful to be able to have that heads up. And there's a lot of controversy in the service dog community about what dogs can alert to and what they can be trained to alert on, and people say, oh, there's certain things that they have to have a natural alert to in order to do it. But pretty much anything that is going to result in a body cue from you, like a behavior, or anything that's going to result in a scent change, so like our chemistry change, dogs are going to be able to be trained to alert to that or have a response to that, because a dog's world is scent and body language. So I don't really hold to the people that say that, oh, you have to have a natural alert in order to train this. I don't believe that. Higgins is my second service dog. Shasta did have a natural alert. She trained herself much of this before I knew a lot about the service dogs. And then I since learned, and then I got Higgins here specifically for my second service dog, and he's been trained and raised specifically to do this work. And he has been able to do the alerts and even expound on them further than Shasta did. So I think a lot of it is in, you do have to have a dog that has the right temperament to be a service dog. I do believe that, but I think a lot of it is in the training, because a dog's world is already scent. They already are going to have affiliation to their nose like that, and dogs are good observers of body language, so they can see the little ticks and stuff that we might miss. But I think a large part of it is scent related. And anytime that our chemistry changes to a dog's level of scenting, our scent will change, and they'll be able to smell those shifts, so then they can be trained to acknowledge those to you, which is an alert. So if you are looking into a service dog, or if you have a service dog and you have bouts that come and go of mental clarity or brain fog, or there's a lot of labels to it. Mine are presumed to come largely from head injuries, but there can be many different causes. And that, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so if you're looking into that and you feel discouraged because people are saying, oh no, the dog has to have a natural alert to it, just start training the dog. There's a lot of videos out there on how to do that. You can take scent samples. With Higgins, I had planned to take scent samples to train him, but I never end up having to because I was still working my previous service dog, and so whenever she would alert, I would work with him. They call it, in training, you call it playing the alert game. But basically, I would have already trained him to a behavior, which was grabbing his Bringzel. And then what I would do is, when Shasta, my other service dog, had given an alert, then I would ask Higgins, who didn't know about the alert yet, I would ask him for that alert behavior. and reward him, give him treats or toys or play or whatever he wanted at the time. And over time, he learned to pair that scent or that visual or whatever it is that he learned to pair with that was going on in me that I didn't notice, that Shasta noticed. He also picked up on that and realized that I'm asking for this behavior anytime that this other thing is present, whether it's a scent or whatever. And so then he was able to couple those, because dogs can learn to couple behaviors and things that happen. Really, they learn that really well. So he learned that those two things combined got him a reward. And so it's really just pairing of behavior and pairing of a scent item. It's done in all different fields with canines, so it's kind of silly to think that it can't be done with service dogs and with the scent alerts of all different types. I wasn't planning on talking so in depth about that point, but it does seem to be a issue with a lot of the community, and I see a lot of people perhaps get discouraged and don't fully try the training. Don't give the dog time to learn that because they think that they can't. And if you just start training, if you've got a dog that's already keyed into you, that's really what you need. And then you just do the training, and you'll have an alert dog if you need it. You can train them an alert, or you can train them a response, or you can train them both. So Higgins does both, depending on what it is. So like for his cognitive alerts, which is what this video is about, it's mostly an alert with a little bit of response trained in. So mostly I rely on his alert for that, because then I'll know that my brain is not going to be working well, that that's not a good time to make decisions or to do anything to where I've really got to pay attention. I've noticed lately that some of his cognitive alerts for me I won't notice a change in me, but if I try to do normal work and stuff, if I'm trying to do work with my hands or whatever, I will become more clumsy and not be able to have good like dexterity and stuff, and not make good choices, and I can tend to get hurt. That happened just a couple weeks ago. I ended up getting another not too severe head injury because I had a cognitive alert running, but I didn't think it was here yet because I didn't feel a change. And I was moving some old debris, and because my brain wasn't functioning all the way, I did things. I don't know if it's made a bad choice necessarily. I think it's that I did things that I normally would have realized were not smart to do, and I just didn't even think of it. And resulted in a board falling and hitting my head, which could have been avoided had I listened to my dog. So even this far in with my second service dog, it's the number one rule with most things with dogs, but especially with service dogs, is trust the dog. And obviously I'm still not 100% on that. So that's a difficulty, I think, for every handler. There was that when I was doing tracking with my other dog as well. You have to know that they know their nose is better than ours, and they know they know what their nose is telling them, and if you've trained them to tell you about it, then you need to trust them. That's a side comment, but yeah, it's really important with the cognitive alerts, especially because I keep looking down because I'm watching my ducks. I can't help it. I have to watch my ducks. I like the ducks. I like birds. But with the cognitive alerts, it's very important that I listen to the dog, because that's the whole point of it, is that most of the time I don't realize that my brain is not working correctly, because it's not working correctly. I can't recognize it as much as I can recognize other things of like I can feel when, even though his alert, like I spoke before in the previous video, like his anger alert, even though there's all the points of that being super helpful and helping me mitigate that. But I can still feel it come in, like when the anger comes. With the cognitive, I can't always tell. I can't always feel it. So it's very important to have his alerts in that, and for me to heed his alerts whether I think they're active or not. You're gonna go in the water now, huh? So I know I've talked more about Higgins' side, kind of his job of this on this one, and the last time I talked more about my side of it. The cognitive stuff for my side of it is really kind of a difficult thing to talk about because there's so many different angles to it, and since my brain's not all the way there during it, I personally don't understand it all the way. I do know that I can get repetitive, I can get over fixated on things, and I won't know that I am, but I know that from my husband telling me about that and stuff. And sometimes, like I started to say before, sometimes I will get where I can't find words. Sometimes I'll just be kind of shut down where I don't, like in my brain I'll be talking and stuff and I'll want to speak, but then there's like a disconnect between inner and outer, and I don't want to talk, or sometimes I can't talk. And like I said, like repetitive either on fixation on things or also in action sometimes. Sometimes I'll get very agitated and I'm not in an anger way, but like I just not sure what to do and I get confused, so I get antsy. And he is trained I trained him for a response for that, to come up and get in my space and pay attention to me and get my attention on him. So that is a response that he's trained for with that. And I'll also get, it's not as often, but I also will get times where what I call more of my severe cognitive rounds is where, like, I don't know, I think my brain just kind of checks out for a while. Two different ways. Sometimes it'll just shut down, like literally I'll just, like, I can't stay awake, but it's not sleep, but it kind of like fall asleep, although it doesn't feel like sleep, and then when I come awake from it, it feels more like coming awake from passing out versus sleep. It's kind of a strange thing. It's kind of an in-between. I have a history of passing out a lot. It's not passing out and it's not sleep. It's something in between, something different. I'm not sure what that's called, but I get rounds of that. And then the other one that's most severe, that's really difficult, is fortunately it doesn't happen that often right now, but is where my brain won't recognize anything for a span of time, and it can be a split second all the way to, I think the longest one was somewhere around an hour. And in those times, like, I won't recognize pretty much anything. Most of the time I recognize my dogs, but I won't know anything. I won't recognize my husband. I won't recognize anything I'm looking at most of the time. Sometimes I can recognize like an old picture or something. Like one time that I was in one of those rounds and I was kind of freaked out because I didn't know my husband and I didn't know who this man was that was in the house with me. You know, it's like it was very scary. And my husband, he's really wonderful with me with these things, and he thought to go grab a picture we have in our living room. We were in a different room. He grabbed a picture that was in our living room of that we had taken on our wedding, and we didn't have go somewhere for our wedding, but we dressed up at home and took some pictures. And he brought that out, and my brain was at that moment was able to recognize that, and then I was super attached to the picture, but then I still couldn't compute anything outside of that picture, and so I just held the picture and that was my security until that passed. And I won't know, like, in that particular example, I was in the middle of getting changed for bed, and I won't know like what to do. I won't know how to unbutton a shirt. I won't know how to, you know, get undressed or get dressed or anything. Like I won't, my brain just won't know anything. And so those rounds are scary, but Higgins can alert to those. He also, in the same category, he'll alert to sundowners. And that's, I'm not going to talk a lot about that because that's something that is, there's information out there, you can look it up. Sundowner syndrome, I get that almost daily. It has to do with the light changing in the evening. When that light starts to change, certain brains are kind of tripped out by that, basically. But there's a lot of information out on that, so I don't feel like I need to go into that. But yeah, I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that would be helpful to people. I'm not sure if there's other things, other little things with the cognitive alerts, but it's escaping me right now. But if you have any questions or you know, want to know anything further about it, or if you have personal experience or anything, leave it in the comments to help other people and to help me. You know, it's always nice to have people engaging and sharing their stories to help more people. That's why I'm doing this video. I don't particularly enjoy talking about myself or about my health issues because I have to live them every day, so it's kind of annoying to me to go over them a lot. But I'm choosing to do that because I think that me doing this and being in a little discomfort could potentially help someone else. And so that's why I'm doing this. And if you can also, or if you want to, if you don't want to, that's fine, but if you want to also share a story of yours that could help someone else in the comments, that would be, you know, expounding on that thought of helping people. So hopefully this video helps you, and I guess I got to the end of a video without it cutting me off for once, so that's kind of nice. I better go finish my chores. Gotta go check on horses. They're out in the pasture. I can give you a quick look at all the critters here. Whoops, ran into a wire. I can't flip the camera because of my phone, but I'll try to see if I can. I don't know what you're seeing, but hopefully you're seeing all my goats there, all my girls. And then there's a yucky duck. That's Elvis. And I was sitting on the barrel. We got Pistol and Higgins. And over here we've got Nancy, because she can't fit through the fence and go with the other girls. And then the two buck goats are in there. Eddie and Chess. Here's the two ducks. Those two young ducks there were the culprits that were trying to bathe while I was trying to rest the camera on the fence. And then, well, hi buddy, you're sitting kind of funny. I don't know if they can see you, but that sure is funny how you're sitting. You're a silly boy. You're friendly, but you're stinky. Yeah, you're friendly, but you're stinky, bud. And then there's some chickens in here somewhere, but I think they're all up in the back area right now, up in the shade and pecking around. Oh, there's Waylon. He's the rooster. I don't know if you can see him there. There's Waylon and Marmalade, or the Turkin. There's a new little red hen we just put in here yesterday, but I'm not sure where she is right now. She was just here. But hopefully you can see them. Hi, Chess. Hi, buddy. Yes, you're friendly. Alright, well, I probably have taken enough of your time. I am going to end the video and go check on some horses. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, give it a like so that I know if it's helpful. That lets me know what to put up that's helpful to people. And if you know someone that it could help them, maybe share it to them. But yeah, share your story if you want to in the comments. And hope you have a good day. See ya.